Welcome back to another episode here on Brian's Custom Auto. I'm your host, Brian. Today, you'll notice I've got Nanner Hammock in the background. Reason being is because we just put the new Amazon high torque starter on there. Guys, for $106, you can buy a high torque mini starter for a small block Chevy, and that's delivered in 2 days. And you know what? Well, actually, it looks just like this one, but newer and not as crusty and beat up, and actually works. Guys, direct fit, direct install. This car is back to running like a top again, all because it needed a starter. Now, granted, I need to take my battery out of it, but if you look real close, you can see there's a little bitty puddle under there building. So we're going to go ahead and mark on the windshield, since the windshield's got to be replaced anyway, and alcohol will take care of getting Sharpie off the windshield. But we're going to write on the windshield what all still needs to be done. So that being said, let me throw you on a tripod real quick so we can figure this out. All right, so since we got the starter on here, now we need to go down and make a list of everything we need to still do, okay? So, bottom radiator hose. Hood off the other car. Hood hinges off the other car. Install tack. De-black the wheels. Center console out of the other car. What else? Hood hinges, tack, black wheels, console. Oh, shocks. Rear shocks. Probably front too, because those are sagging. Front shocks. What else? What else? Door panel, passenger side. Window cranks. What else? There's some more stuff I've got to do. I'm just trying to remember what it is. Heater hoses. Oh, chrome shifter. I got to realign this front fender. What else? What else? What else? Oh, door locks. I'm forgetting something here, guys. I am forgetting something here. I can't remember. Oh, check rear wheels. Check for rear spacers. Alright. And battery. You gotta get a battery for this, guys. That's my battery. It's in here. Okay. There's a good start there, guys. Alright, so it's the next day. Got the Camaro pulled out. Like I say, we drove it up and down the road. Thing drives like crazy. Like it drives nice. Even with them old crusty flat spotted tires, it still rides pretty good. It needs new shocks all the way around it. We discussed that. Now, today's a new day, and I got a call from the neighbor that she wants to put her little convertible back on the road. Guys, it's a PT Bruiser. So I got to put an alternator on that. So, let's just jump right on doing that. And, yeah, see what all it takes. I've never put an alternator on one of these, but hey, there's first time for everything. Guys, it's been 4 hours. I completely underestimated this crappy little car. It literally just gave birth to an alternator. And yeah, let me show you this stupid, idiotic, mentally challenged bunch of crap that Chrysler and Dodge and all them idiots decided to do with this Mayberry mofo. Okay? Step one, unhook the battery. That's the easy part. Put that piece of crap on charge. Step two, move over to here. Loosen your coolant tank. Okay? Step three, go way down into the depths down there in that open hole. Undo 3 10mm bolts to the heat shield. Step 4, jack it up. All right. Step 5 through 9,000. Remove long CB axle and wheel and brake caliper and grounder strap and sensor and strut. Okay. Step wherever we are now. Remove upper and lower motor mount to raise engine up. Step number wherever we are now. Take this loose so you can move it. Once you get all that unbolted, if you try just right, that big giant hole right there, you can make it give birth to that piece of crap right there. Now we got to go backwards with it all. So if you ever get the opportunity to put an alternator on a PT Cruiser, run like hell. Or be stupid like me. Your choice. All right, guys. So I didn't film any of that really because I just wanted to get that thing done and back. And plus the rain was coming in and I left the Harley sitting outside. So I had to hurry up and get that done and get the Harley back in. Not that it can't get wet. I just prefer it not to be out there. But you can see I'm changing the denomination, guys. So there's that job done. I think you went back inside already, honey. So I think he went back inside already, honey. Yep. We're looking for the dog. But here, let's go inside. See if he's in there. All right, it's been a couple days. I've been working off-site for the past 2 days over at a buddy's house, and I'll take you along with me today as we are putting his 327 back together. He's got a 327 with a set of double hump heads. And yeah, it been a valve. I'll put that picture right here. So, got that out of the head. And luckily, our local machine shop had a couple valves. He wound up taking the head up to have the valve guides checked and all that stuff. And those parts will be that we need will be there today. Now, what caused that? Spring pressure, guys. It's very, very, very important to know what your spring pressure is. You want to know your spring pressure in accordance to your RPM that you're planning on maxing out at, along with your push rods to know if they're hardened or not. He had bought milling push rods to put into the heads, which should have been fine, but he's got a high enough lift cam in it. I want to say it's 456 lift cam in it, and with those push rods, but his spring pressure was 50 pounds. That's not good. 50 pounds of spring pressure is what you would expect to be in like a gas-powered dump truck that ain't going to rev over like 3,000 RPM, something like that. Some kind of government vehicle that is really detuned or governed or something like that. Which really, in my opinion, you don't want 50 pounds spring pressure in anything. But that's all it was like, it was 52.5 or something like that. And this is brand new springs. He bought the heads already assembled. And although, he did say he got them at a really good deal, but he didn't know anything about them other than it was 202, 195, or 165 valves. So, there's that. All right, guys, so while I'm waiting on the parts to get in, I went ahead and took the shifter I made for the Nanner hammock. If y'all remember, maybe I showed it, I don't know. I took this flat steel here and cut it into a design and made a shifter for the Nanner hammock, because buying a Hurst shifter is like $300. So I can show it to you because it's actually in the oven, because I just powder coated it. Trying out the chrome powder coat. I did it on, I'll show you. Can't see the shifter inside the oven, but anyway, so I took a valve cover just like this. Rusty, junky, janky. And now it's this. So, and that was from doing powder coat. So it looks more like brushed or polished aluminum. But, you know, let me see what's in here. A couple bolts, some grease. But yeah, from that to that. I think it turned out all right. And that was the oil cap that just fell over here. So, yeah, tell me what you think about the powder coat stuff, guys. I know Greg's Vintage Workshop, who comments on all my videos, and thank you, Greg, so much. You have been you and several others have been such loyal subscribers. I thank you guys so much, and have given me such good, awesome information along the way. But yeah, guys, keep in mind, this is simply a Harbor Freight powder coat kit, okay? And then I ordered my powder coat from this place called the Powder Coat Shop. So this is my sterling copper and ultimate chrome. And of course you can get your black and your white from Harbor Freight. But yeah, the ultimate chrome is what that is. But keep in mind, what they don't tell you guys is if you do the ultimate chrome or this, you got to have a clear coat go with it. The copper turned out really good right there. I did 2 different colors of it. You might be able to see it on camera, but I also marked on back what it was. This is copper over to white. So I did that one white first and then copper. And it came out really, really like a penny. And then this was just over chrome, but I laid it on really thick. So the comparison of the two is over white is actually a touch darker. So just playing around with it, figuring it out. I've never done powder coat before, guys. This is my learning as I go kind of thing. But to get this set up right here from Harbor Freight, you can't go wrong with it, guys. It works great. And like I said, the Ultimate Chrome from the powder coat shop, or the powder coat store, I'm sorry. And there's the link right there to the color. It'll take you to the store. And it comes with your cure schedule and all that. Dude, this stuff is awesome. Like I said, no clear coat on that, guys. That's just straight chrome. So check it out. Now I'm getting my hand in doing this on all this small stuff and playing with it because we got that Harley build coming, and I've got a lot of powder coat I'm gonna have to do on that, on small stuff. Y'all see what size oven I've got. It's nothing massive, so I can't do big ginormous things. I can only do what fits inside that oven. So, but that means every part that can fit inside that oven is getting powder coated. So we're going to do the handlebars. I haven't decided if I'm going to do them in the chrome or the copper yet. Probably in the copper. We're going to take those spiky bars off of it right there and put the drag bars back on it with the spikes right there. Yeah. Anyway, and all that. So anyhow, guys, hang tight. I'll be back with you in just a minute. All right, so we just got it out of the oven. It's still good and hot right now. And that's what's crazy about this stuff, guys, is it looks like it's just a gray right now. But as the powder coat cools, it gets shinier and shinier. So, yeah. So we're going to let that hang there and chill out. Leave it in the comments below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like it. All right, guys, we're on the way over here to go work on this car. I got to swing by O'Reilly's real quick and get a set of header gaskets. And that's something they usually have in stock. We'll see. But I'll swing by and grab those right quick, and then we'll head on over to State Line. All right, ladies and gents, we made it to the Casa de Nova, and I am getting to work. He is running to go pick up something else now. We have to change the springs on the head that's still on the block, and although I have a spring compressor, I don't have the one that you can change it with it on the car still, so he's going to run pick one of those up so he has it in his plethora of tools, and that'll stop us from having to take the second head off, another head gasket, and all that jazz. So let me get my compressor and we'll get started on this. So for those of you who don't know, this is not my shop. This is my buddy's shop, okay? And then this is like the coolest place ever. When I met him, I was like in heaven. You got guitars. You got just room galore. Stuffed animals, American flags, 3 refrigerators, music, tools. I don't even have to bring tools over here other than a couple little things here and there. I mean, it even has a dishwasher, guys. Anyway, where we're at here is we've got these double hump heads. So for those you don't know, double hump heads on this 1978 Chevrolet Nova. And he's got a 456 lift cam, I believe is what he said. Stamped steel rollers, okay? But we have to take these springs off because the springs were already in the heads when you got the heads. And they only have 52, 53 pounds of pressure. What we have is replacement springs right here. These are Liberty Performance, and these are 130. Let's see, I'm trying to find a number on it, guys. 1521 by 16, 1.26. Anyway, but yeah, they're like 130 foot-pounds. So You definitely want to match your spring rate up with what you're doing, guys. So I've got to get my compressor on here and go ahead and start changing springs out. And the valve that is the issue, obviously, is not that guy. Big old 202. Not even that guy. But, can you see the problem with that? Yep. So, that's why we're doing this. So, there's the new valve in the hole. I'm trying to lap it in right now. You see it sitting on my lap. And here we are back with these stupid tools again. These are mine from the house, which I gave them to Mr. Joe because they suck. But it at least partially wants to work on the 202. But you gotta have both hands to be able to do this. So just showing you we lapping that valve in so nobody can say, you didn't do that right. Yeah, I am. All right, here we go. So you can see I got my little ridge. Well, you can barely see it because it's a brand new valve. But I've got my little ridge around that. Got the same ridge around here. Got it all wiped up. Slide the valve in, pull it tight and try and twist it. When it grips like that, it's pretty good shape. You can see this one over here. I'm gonna lap that one in too. But you can see how shiny that little bitty edge, that's all you're after, is for that to have a good mating surface. So this one's ready. We're gonna clean it up a little bit more and then put that valve back in it and throw the spring. Here we are with our second 202 to go in this hole here. So like I said, you can see that edge right there is pretty clean. The valve itself is pretty clean, but we're gonna lap it anyway just to be safe. So we'll put just a little bit of compound on there, lap it a few times, throw it in, get the spring on. We're back at Joe's house this next day. We went through yesterday, got all the valve springs on the other head, and used the little Harbor Freight tool and got them onto the driver's side head. And Joe went ahead and got the intake on this morning, so all this is all set, already pumped up, intake's already on. We still have to put that header on. And I'll stab the distributor and then we'll go from there. But yeah, it's coming back together, guys. Hang tight. All right, valve covers are now on. Now we need to set the header in. We need to grab the bolts and the gaskets. And yeah, we're just about there, guys. Getting real close. So let's set the header on in there. Luckily, he put a V-band flange on the headers. Make sure we don't hit them pretty valve covers. There we go. There's that. Now, I need both hands to do this, so I'll bring it back in a second. I don't know how y'all do it, but I always get the header set in as best I can. I'll put the front bolt in and the rear bolt in, grab the rest of them and at least get them started. And we're actually using manifold gaskets to do this, but they work just fine. I've used them for years. I prefer them, but it makes it way easier to just be able to drop them in there in most cases. Okay. There we go. Got that one started. Look at this one started. And that's all there is to it, guys. We'll get these started and then get the gasket slid in there. All right. I don't know if y'all can hear JJ the Boss in the background. Let's see. There ain't no real good way to get in there to see what you're doing. All right. Now, let's get the gaskets and the wrench. All right. And like I said, the reason I do this, guys, is because it's just easier to get these in there. You see how they're open-eared? Just set it in there like so. It just drops right into place. Now we do the center. And then do the rear. Yep, come on now. There you go. And now we just tighten it up. That's all there is to it. like Bondo Billy says, ain't nothing to it the way we do it. So, I'm tightening these up. I'll bring it back. All right, guys. It's completely back together. He's topping off the antifreeze right now. And we are getting ready for first startup. And, yeah, crossing fingers everything is right. Should be. He pumped up the lifters this morning, so that was all done. So, yeah. We don't have to do cam brake in or no kind of crap like that. So, hey, it's full. It'll burp in a minute. But anyway, fired up and it was still clattering a little bit. My normal way of adjusting the valves did not work on this particular one. So now we're doing the EOIC method, and I've got my start button hooked up and all that. But what you do is you get your exhaust open, intake closed, and then opposite of that, and follow it in your firing order of 1-843-6572. Okay, so now this one's adjusted. This is number 3, 1843. Intake is open. Yeah. Anyway, intake is closed. Exhaust is open. Now we're gonna open the intake and close the exhaust, and then set your preload on that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's back together. Got everything set. Now, I've got my push button wired up here with the timing light and all that, but let's see how good it fires up now it's warmed up a little bit. That camshaft sounds good. There ain't no smoke. It ain't loading up. I still hear this ticking over here. I don't know what it is. I know it ain't a lifter now. I don't know. Still sounds like one. I don't know. Let me check the lifters. All right, guys, we're back at my shop. I went through and rechecked them lifters one last time, well, the rocker arms one last time, because that's what it sounds like. And I really do not like stamped steel rockers, especially on an application like that. They're noisy anyway, in my experience. Somebody's going to probably jump on here and tell me, well, if they're noisy, you're doing it wrong. No. Stamped steel roller rockers are noisy. The little bearing on the inside of them I just don't like them. I like Scorpions and, you know, the billet aluminum actual roller rockers. They don't make noise. All the engines I've built in this shop, none of them make noise, and they're way easier to adjust and get set. Those have the little round bearing cup that set, or not bearing cup, but little half moon thing that sets inside, and you have to get it straight and get the rocker straight and then get the poly locked down. It's just aggravating, but we got that adjusted completely out. Now the ticking that is still there, it's very faint now, but I believe when the valve got bent and caused it to bend the push rod, and it shoved the push rod into the lifter itself, I believe it collapsed the spring in that one lifter. So now it's just weak, and I think it's the lifter itself we're hearing, not the rocker. So, but that being said, it is what it is. Car runs like a top now. Once he puts some good race fuel in it, or high octane fuel in it, it'll take any ping. I've got the timing set, everything else is good on it. It revs out great, but Still got to get the last of the old, not old gas, but it's like 83 octane. It's what you put in your lawnmower. 100% pure gas around here is like 83 octane. And that engine ain't going to run on that. You rev it up hard and you can hear the chattering. So, and I mean, people can argue that all they want to, but the truth is the truth. So, but we did get some goodies. So let me get them out of the car and I'll show you what I got to bring home from doing this job. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for this week's video. I want to show you this. Let me turn it around here where you can see it. I showed where I powder coated that chrome onto the valve cover, but I didn't show you what I did after. And it's a learning process, guys. Just bear with me, okay? I'm learning this stuff as I go. But I did it in powder coat, Brian's Custom Auto, BCA. Of course, I just freehanded that. Now, keep in mind, guys, I am no artist by any means. But that's all done. I did the chrome and powder coat, which looks more like brushed aluminum. And then that in the Harbor Freight black. But that's how that turned out. You know, I've got a lot to do and a long way to go to get to where I'm, you know, mastering this stuff. But hey, it was a process. That's where we're at, guys. So I'm probably going to sand that shifter down and try it again in the chrome or something. I don't know. We finally got the clear coat in, so I got to use that stuff. But, you know, it is what it is. Like I say, it's a learning process. So anyway, so that's going to do it for this video for this week, guys. Please do me a favor. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, okay? Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll know every Sunday when I upload a new video, okay? And you'll get notified on all the shorts as well. But I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much again for watching. Guys, remember, the only reason I'm doing all this stuff that I don't know anything about is because it's a challenge. And I'd say it every single week. If it doesn't challenge you, it don't change you, okay? That's my theory behind it. That's a quote from someone else, okay? DeVito. Not Danny DeVito, but DeVito. That's who said that quote. And they were a very intelligent person. If it doesn't challenge you, it don't change you, okay? Keep learning. Learn something new every day. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.